I guess this means I've lived to play another inning. La 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 la. They tried to slap that look right off my face, but I'm still grinning. And the money ain't run out yet, so I do believe I'm winning. For all the mess I was, am and will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE SmackDown every Saturday night, but this is a very special show where we will be previewing WrestleMania coming up next week. My name's John Zindel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
This is one of my favorite things that we do every year. You had the idea to do this back in 2023. This is the third annual Don't Bury the Lead WrestleMania preview, the top 5 matches that we want to watch. We've got it set up Vegas playing card style. It's not 1 through 5. It's Ace, King, Queen, Jack, 10. The royal flush of matches that you and I want to see. So without further ado, John, don't bury the lead. What's your ace, the match you most want to watch this year at WrestleMania 41?
Dom, this is my number one. This is my ace. And my number one match here. Fairly predictable, fairly obvious. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena in the main event for the big belt. And this is one that the number one match I'm looking forward to for a lot of reasons. First of all, got a lot of comments coming through that I'm going to hit up with here. I got, who's this? Elizabeth Gluck.
Elbow cough.
I've got Jesse McDonald sending me a dog or a cat. And then we got Nick Teodoro. Nick thank you very much for joining, Nick. Appreciate it. I have so many comments coming through. I figured I hit them up before, but I am burying the lead a little bit here. I really like this matchup as a result of the fact that John Cena, obviously the big belt here, that is always going to be the best matchup in my opinion. I think they've laid it out pretty well. And I'm just so excited to see John Cena working heel. He's been incredible in the promos in Europe, and he's super over as a heel. People have wanted it for years, and we're finally here. So this is, without question, my number one matchup. Dom, did this one make your list?
This one made my list as well. I enjoyed heel Cena. I also have seen enough of him where I think he's going to wrestle well. Cody Rhodes, we know, will perform well in the ring. I think John Cena will also, but I have them number 3 on my board. Let me just say this was difficult to put together this list. There's not really a bad matchup on the card. Some of them I could see more like Raw or SmackDown main events, but I think there's a lot of good stuff. I like that it's the big belt, and like you were saying, they're going to give this match plenty of time to play out. The only question for me will be, can John Cena hang for the 25 to 30 minutes that this match is hopefully should last? Because Cody Rhodes can do it. Roman Reigns did it the last 2 years. The only question is, can John Cena hang with Cody Rhodes? Cena's not over the hill in the sense that he's done. He's on the downside of his athletic career. He's 47 years old, and he hasn't been a full-time wrestler in a while. But he looks like he's in great shape. He was fantastic in the Elimination Chamber. The promos have been everything you wanted. It's just a matter of, can he deliver the main event quality time span duration match that WWE likes from WrestleMania. I want to watch it. It's just not my ace, but I agree with you. It's got to be on anybody's top 5 board, right?
100%. I got some comments coming through here. Dave Meltzer reported, John, I'm assuming me, will shave all his head and facial hair if Cody loses. Can you confirm or deny this rumor?
Nick from the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour with an inside scoop there. Are we sure that's Meltzer? That sounds like something that is even above Meltzer. How many stars would we give it if you shaved your head?
Well, it would really depend where I shaved my head.
You shave your head in Tokyo. How many stars?
7 stars.
7 stars for shaving your head in Tokyo.
Forget it. John Stamos out of the way. Famous bald people like Larry David, Joe Rogan, they don't hold a flame to me, bald at Tokyo.
That's
now,
right.
At a big WrestleMania main event, 2 stars. Okay. Pretty average.
How about if it's just in a random warehouse in southern New Jersey?
That probably gives it an extra point as a result of the fact that it's more obscure.
8 stars.
Right. Only if there's 2 people from Japan in, New Jersey. So if the hairstylist is from Japan, that pops it up to about 5 stars, I'd have to say.
Absolutely. You wanted to do predictions as well. Do you want to do them now or save them for later since we've got the match up? What do you think happens here?
Let's for sure do them now. I don't see Cody Rhodes winning here. I really think it is most likely going to Cena because he's got so much momentum going into it and he doesn't have a lot of time left. This isn't something that we can get a couple years out of this. No, he's got to go now. He's got to win the title. And Cody's had it for a year, and I think that's enough. If Cena doesn't win it, then what are we going to do? We're going to keep running this back into SummerSlam? I think the belt pops over from Cody to Cena, and I think, unfortunately, there might be some hook or crook rather than clean.
Some shenanigans. So it's like an old-fashioned bloodline main event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I think John Cena wins it because I don't think you can build up the Rock and John Cena alliance and everything with the final boss and then just have it fizzle out Cody's first match.
Yeah.
Cody has to climb the mountain. A baby face has to struggle to overcome things more than a heel does. So I think Cody needs that next mountain to climb. And I think the allegiance, the alliance, the conspiracy of The Rock, the board of directors, the final boss, and John Cena, the 2 movie stars. I think Cody has to overcome that, and it won't be easy. It won't be on his first crack.
I got some good chats coming through here, so I'm going to pull them up.
Okay, and if anybody wants to chime in, what do you think is going to happen in these things? Say it.
Does a legend return? And which legend do you think returns in this match?
In this match? Oh boy, I don't know. If we're predicting a Cena win, then I don't know who would return for that. If it was a Cody win, then you could start going, okay, who's going to be the neutralizer for The Rock? I mean, does Stone Cold Steve Austin come out and ultimately fail? If so, then have you wasted? If it's going to be a surprise babyface and the babyface doesn't win, have you wasted the surprise cameo?
Yeah, and it feels like it has to be someone from the Cena era, right? Mm-hmm. Not really somebody that's in the Rock era, but like somebody from the Cena era. And then I got this one here.
It would have been Edge, but he's gainfully employed in AEW.
Yeah, Edge actually would be a great option. But Dom, you have to remember that even in the prime of his career, John Cena was not the best wrestler in the world by any stretch. I think it was a little...
Correct. But he was in good shape and he had stamina. Like he put on Iron Man matches. Like I remember, what was it, against Shawn Michaels? I mean, a young John Cena, he wasn't going to wow you with his technical abilities, but he could perform athletically for long stretches of time. So Cena in his prime, I would not have any questions about this match. But Cena after a fairly long layoff at age 47, that's my question. I'm not saying this will be a technical masterpiece. I just don't want him to look like he's gassed.
Rumors are Stone Cold. I know he was supposed to be there last year for the Cody
Yeah.
matchup, but they instead plugged in Undertaker because they couldn't afford him. So I could only imagine that the price is going to be really hefty for Stone Cold.
There you
And
go.
I'd be
Undertaker, I think, was better.
And Undertaker slid right in, and especially with that dong, the
Yes.
entrance, and the one. He's only doing one move,
Yep.
so
I think it was better that the Undertaker was there, because if it's Stone Cold, the glass has to break, and he, with his 2 bad knees and whatever, has to stomp out that long entrance. It's going to take 5 minutes for him to get to the ring. It was much better to have the dong, the lights go out, and the Undertaker's there. So if there's a Stone Cold appearance to neutralize The Rock, I could see it. And it comes down to execution. If it's well executed, sure. There's a lot that I don't like to predict about these shows because I'm not the booker. And my favorite matches to watch are things where I don't know what's going to happen. Like I want to watch other people perform. Even if I know the song and I'm at a concert, I want to watch the people perform and not just copy what's on the record, what everybody would expect. Give me an extra long, awesome guitar solo.
yeah.
Give me something in there. Do something really cool, like slow it down, speed it up, whatever. So,
I got another great one here from Nick. Hogan was in good shape too. Oh, so are we going to see Hulk Hogan again after Los Angeles?
I don't know about Hogan. I mean, he really can't move the back. He can't move, but that's a good point, because Hogan older had a tremendous match at WrestleMania with The Rock.
Yeah.
That stole the show.
Yeah. Hogan was supposed to be the heel, but everyone loved him, so they were chanting for him, and they were chanting Rocky Sucks, who was the face, but it was perfect. And he was more over than ever, and he had just been in WCW doing his NWO black and white era, Hollywood Hogan, and then he's back to WWE. It really cemented how just over and amazing he was in his entire career, considering that was like the mid to late 80s to the early aughts, Yeah.
Even early 80s and before, like he got the role in Rocky 3 because he was already becoming like the biggest pro wrestler in the country at that point. Yeah. When Hogan was active, he knew how to entertain, and he was physically enough to do it. Cena, I think, is a better athlete than Hogan, but he's 47. That's my only tiny little question about this match. Is Cena going to look, after 10 minutes like he's gassed? Like he's going to be looking to tag out of the match, but there's no tag team. It's one-on-one.
He looked good in the Elimination Chamber going with Punk. And Punk was no spring chicken. He's actually pretty old. And we'll get to him later. But let's go to you, Dom. What is your ace?
John, whose game is it?
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
I want to watch this match. Because the crowd is probably going to be insane. LA Knight is over as a babyface. People love him, but people like Jacob Fatu also. And as much as they're trying to keep Jacob Fatu a heel, it's not working. I think this match is going to be crazy from a crowd perspective. And I think I'm really going to like the wrestling as well. Jacob Fatu, at some point, he's got to look like just a wrestler and not a guy who just squashes people because he ambushes them from behind. They were trying to do a little of that with Braun Strowman, but that was just a big hoss match. LA Knight's going to make Jacob Fatu wrestle. And I want to see that. I think Fatu's a tremendous athlete. He might be the best athlete there. The quickness, the size, the agility. He has a babyface's moveset. But he's got that snarl and that aggression and the look and the demeanor and the movements of a heel. I think he could be a star if they just let him do it. I don't know if this is where he gets the belt or not, but I want to watch this match. I mean, you could put LA Knight in there with anybody who can go, and I'd be like, yes, I want to watch that match.
We got a comment from Sean McDonald. Great analysis.
All right. Thank you, Sean. We are doing our best.
I got some people in the room next to me that are chiming in, as you could tell.
They are old, so you've got a live studio audience there.
Yes, we got some people, not to spoil it, but we got some people that are chiming in, and Sean's one of them. And I think that there's some back and forth within the chat here. But keep it coming, keep chatting, guys. This makes this a lot funner. And let's go here. We have Cody Rhodes.
Do you have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu on your board, or am I left hanging here?
I'm going to go ahead and say this. Cody Rhodes LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, from a SmackDown perspective, my two favorites. So they were my queen.
There it is. All right.
Knight.
Very symmetrical so far. We've each selected the other's top three.
Yeah.
What say you about this match, John?
I'm very curious as to who's going to win it. I really don't know, but I think you've covered it pretty well, where Jacob Fatu is hyper athletic and over as a face, even though he's supposed to be a heel. LA Knight's just way over as a face, super entertaining, more of a traditional wrestler in the sense that I'm trying to think of the best way to describe his style, where it's like he is just very well-rounded and solid, but he's not going to do anything too crazy, and he's going to play his notes, his like, I don't want to say he has 5 moves of doom, but he's got like 10, 15 moves of doom, right? But he's got like 10, 15 moves that he's awesome at. The crowd knows they're coming. They're partying along with him as he's doing them. And, he's everything you want in a pro wrestler as far as I'm concerned. And what is your prediction? We got some people in the chat making predictions already. What is your prediction for Jacob Fatu versus L.A. Knight?
Talking about run-ins, I wonder if Bloodline 2.0 will be involved in this match. I wonder, considering what happened on SmackDown last night. We're recording this on Saturday, April 12th, exactly 1 week before night 1 of WrestleMania. Randy Orton and LA Knight teamed up for a tag team match against Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Randy Orton suddenly does not have a match for WrestleMania. If they don't quickly give him one and Randy Orton becomes, like the run-in guy to save LA Knight from the numbers game, then I could see LA Knight retaining and maybe Jacob Fatu being really mad at Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga for costing him perhaps his U.S. title opportunity. And maybe that gets us the Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu match that we wanted. I will not be surprised either way, whether it's clean, whether it's not. I would like to see enough of a match before the shenanigans start, because I do want this to be Jacob Fatu's test. I do want him to get tested on the biggest stage of them all and to have to wrestle a guy who is really a quintessential modern pro wrestler. LA Knight will use the ropes. He's very athletic. He jumps. But he's not trying to be a luchador at 240 pounds. He still grapples. He still does reversals. He'll still mat wrestle if he has to. He's not going to win any, amateur wrestling awards. But I think Jacob Fatu, I want to see him wrestle. Win or lose, I want to see him wrestle. If I had to, flip a coin and say who, I think LA Knight retains. I think it's too quick after him taking the belt off of Shinsuke Nakamura to just hot potato the belt again.
Yeah. There's that aspect where he just won it, so it's going to make the belt look like a joke if they drop it already. It would be one thing if LA Knight hadn't dropped it to Nakamura and he just had it this whole time, because that was such a bizarre feud. I have no idea why they did that. We got here Nick saying Jacob wins, and show him
so you're the tiebreaker, John. What say you?
I think it's going to be LA Knight. It's a little early for Jacob Fatu to win a title. I mean, he's like a few months in, right? I know he's over. I know he's done some stuff in MLW, but I would be surprised if he won it. I think this probably more so sets up him versus Solo Sikoa. And I think that LA Knight retains. Nick, Thanks so much for joining. And if you're, watching us and you're not Nick, obviously you've dropped off, but you should check out his channel and his show. He does previews of, or pretty much a big recap of all wrestling: AEW, WWE SmackDown, WWE Raw, similar to how we do it with his wife. And it's what is it called? It always escapes me.
It's the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Yeah, the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. So
with Nick and Nicole. So that's the Nick Club. It's wrestling, and they do it at 6 p.m. on a Friday. It's happy hour.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little before wrestling. And, if you got nothing going on at 6 o'clock, if I'm going for a walk or something, sometimes I'm rocking the baby. I put my headphones on. I listen to it for, 20, 30 minutes or so. So
there you go. Make time for it. Very good.
All right. So we got LA Knight, Jacob Fatu. We both are left here. Who should we go with? Who's going to pick the king?
What do you have for your king spot here in the Royal Flush? Let's reveal this here. Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Gunther versus Jey Uso. I actually put this one ahead of LA Knight and Jacob Fatu because so many people have been hating on this one. I feel like I've been reading a lot of stuff on the internet about, Jey Uso doing something similar to Flop Dollar. People were upset that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. They wanted CM Punk. It's always, we want Punk. My whole watching career is just, Punk needs to go over. No, he's 47. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so Jey Uso goes over in the Royal Rumble. He gets number one contendership. I think that these two have the possibility to steal one of the nights because they're not going to be in the main event. And say it's Saturday, and they got, but I mean, let's face it, they got bumped from the main event, and they should be the opener. And I would love to see them open, have a nice 35-minute match, and have it be a total classic, And you're like, hey, you're not the main event, but we're going to give you the opener, and we're going to give you the time to do what you got to do.
Wow. That's a good idea to make this one feel special, even though like they have so many belts anymore. There's 4 world titles between the men and the women. Plus now they've got 4 singles titles underneath it, 2 of which are going to be defended here. They've got men's and women's tag team belts. Yeah. It sometimes world titles can get lost in the shuffle. Yeah. How about Gunther versus Jey Uso opening night 1, just opening all of WrestleMania and crushing it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm up for that. It is on my board. Nowhere. I don't
Whoa.
I like Gunther, but I've seen Gunther Jey Uso before. I don't know how they're going to top it. I'm also afraid from a prediction standpoint that they're just going to put the belt on Jey Uso because everybody's yeeting in the crowd.
So here's what I'm thinking. From my perspective, I almost picked it with my heart because I like that they went with Jey Uso in the Royal Rumble, and I like that people have been doubting him, and I'm just hoping for him to have a fantastic performance. And who's going to bring out a better performance than Gunther, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Gunther. Yeah.
This one's a little bit with the heart, I'll admit. So that's why it's so high up too, because I'm pulling for him to have a good match, Jey Uso. I think it sets up a lot too down the road if Jey Uso wins it.
Do you think that's going to happen? Are you predicting a Jey Uso win here?
I think it's
world title as a singles wrestler.
2 big reasons.
Okay.
1, Gunther needs the big belt. He's the big guy. He doesn't need to have these participation trophy belts. He needs to have the belt. And I think he needs to go after it, especially if Cena wins it. I could see Gunther being face easily. I think it could be heel or face. I think he just needs to turn it one way or the other.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I think that title picture needs some stronger guys in it, and Gunther is going to be perfect for it. And let the other guys like Jey Uso run with this singles belt, and then let him. It makes more sense on Jey Uso. It feels like that's where he's at right now. Versus Gunther, it feels like come on, you're better than this, Gunther. You know, you don't need this belt.
They did that to Gunther at last WrestleMania where Sami Zayn beat him for the IC belt, and that set up Gunther to take a few months and then go after the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and I feel like, talking about perfect opponents, Jey will have an interesting series of opponents, including his brother. So Big Jim and Jey never got a good, the proper rivalry set up. They just threw them together in a match in WrestleMania.
Yes.
And it didn't go over well, but they had like no setup. They set up like 2 weeks in advance. This should be a blood feud between two brothers, like completely crazy. So I think they could redo that or correct it and have Big Jim turn heel, which shouldn't be too hard for him. Okay, and Big Jim has a lot of reasons to hate him too, because he's the one that gets chosen. He's the one that's got the belt. He's always been favored. Big Jim's been down here doing all this work, losing, putting on weight.
Okay. I would, if it sets up better things for Gunther, then I'm okay with a Jey win. Otherwise, I can never disagree with the belt being on Gunther. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's still our favorite wrestler. I'm still gonna pull for him, but still,
he's still a great in-ring performer. So my concern with this match was not in my top 5 is just being that I've seen it before and I'm still skeptical of Jey Uso as a singles wrestler. I was like, I'm watching. I don't want to watch Gunther have to carry him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we can't just be doing super kicks, right, Dom?
Right. Super kick, dive, spear, top turn, splash.
We gotta
and that
do
open half slap that looks incredibly weak.
Yeah,
like Jay's open hand slap versus Gunther's chops. My goodness.
Mm-hmm. But if he just wrestles from under and pops up and fires up and has a lot of action, then he can do it. So
my king match. All right. I went back and forth on this match a lot because at first I was annoyed at how it was put together. And then I said, you know what? It still has great competitors, great wrestlers, and I want to watch it. Mostly on Raw, it's Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. It looked like for a second that Io Sky was just kind of an afterthought with this belt. Like she was just this tangential thing to further the feud between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. But frankly, they've done some things on Raw where Io's looked like she can hang with both of them. I think this will be a fun triple threat. Their styles are not identical. They're all a different kind of wrestler in the ring. So it'll be a challenge for the chemistries to work out there, but I think each of them can do it. And when it comes down to it, I want to watch. I want to watch each of these 3 performers in whatever match they're in. The fact that they're all in the same match, I want to watch this. I hope Io Sky retains. Just because I don't want her to be a throwaway champion. I also think even though she's smaller in physical stature, she's as enjoyable to watch as the other 2. She grapples. She does the gymnastics as well as Tiffany Stratton. I mean, Io Sky as a singles wrestler has been a real revelation over the last year and a half.
And Dom, I'll have to say this for myself. This match also made my list.
It did. Okay, where do you have it?
It is, and I just want to make sure that I'm not messing this up before I flip the wrong one here.
Okay.
It is, and I was correct. It is going to be the Jack.
All right, very good. So you have it here as well. Rhea and Io have been on Raw. We don't watch Raw as closely as we watch SmackDown. Bianca was on SmackDown for a while. She's been spending her time on Raw. What put this match on your royal flush for WrestleMania 41?
This match has 3 of my favorite women that are wrestling right now. Io Sky, who was a person that we watched grow up and really establish herself.
Yes.
We have Bianca Belair, who is the best worker in the company. That's not named Natalia. Don't forget Natalia. I think
Yes.
Natalia is a little bit more. She's not as flashy, but I think she gets the job done a little bit more. Rhea Ripley has been fantastic against Charlotte Flair and in big matches where she's performed. Really great stuff with her and Dom. And even as splitting with Dom, she's still been way over. So it has three people that I really like, and it's a huge clash of styles. So it should be. But having said that, with specifically Bianca and Io in there, I think that those two are going to hold their end of the bargain to have very unique triple threat stuff happening here. You know, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Who did you say you think would win it?
I don't know who's going to win it. I'm cheering for Io to retain because I think Rhea Bianca has some legs to it without one of them having the belt. And if that was what they wanted to build to anyway, I could see them having a great match one-on-one at Backlash with Io retaining here and Rhea and Bianca, the other one blaming the other for why they're in it. Because as they're already setting up, they're each blaming each other for why they're not champion. So I could see Io retaining in a banger of a match and it still being able to spin forward the Rhea Bianca match that everybody wants anyway. Maybe they could even play that out a few iterations for SummerSlam. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little bit like, for me, either Rhea or Bianca is going to win it, and they'll do the rivalry that way. Io just had a title. Bianca hasn't had one in a while, so maybe they flip it to Bianca just because she hasn't had it in a while, and she's done. And she's been carrying Jade around. She's been carrying Jade around
titles for a while, right?
She's been doing the promos, wrestling the full matches, and then tags Jade in, and then wrestles the rest of it. Has to make her look good. Has to make herself look good. Has to elevate the tag titles that don't get enough time. Like, she's really in it. You know, she probably at this point, like, I put a lot of work in. I'm doing the Hulu show with them, with her and her husband. She's probably like, give me the damn belt. I've earned it.
I want to see Bianca Rhea, and I thought it would be for WrestleMania. And then they did the surprise thing on Raw where, you know, Rhea Ripley took a little too much time up on the top turnbuckle, trying to mouth off to Bianca, who was sitting at ringside. And, you know, Io recovered, Hurricane Rana, Frankensteiner, let's be accurate, Frankensteiner off the top rope there, converting out of the riptide to it. It was a great looking move. And then quickly into the moonsault from the top rope. And now you've got a new champ. And now it's just nobody knows what's going on. So I want to see Rhea Bianca at some point, whether a belt is involved or not. I'd like to see Io win. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yes, Io retains just so it doesn't make the belt look like an afterthought, like too much of an afterthought. I want Io to retain because I think Io can take the belt for maybe two more pay-per-views, and then drop it. Maybe the winner of the Backlash match gets her at whatever the June pay-per-view is, or July, and maybe there's a title switch there. Maybe Money in the Bank, something like that. I think an Io Sky title run, because they didn't see her a lot on Raw. She had her title run mostly on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Io retain and for Rhea and Bianca to spin forward a one-on-one feud. And I think both can happen. I don't think you have to choose one or the other.
So what do you think here? We got we'll go back to you because you have Jack left here.
I've got the Jack left there. My goodness, we've thrown her name around.
Whoa!
I want to see this match.
Wow.
I want to see this match. Naomi's heel turn has been excellent. She's wrestling more aggressive and less of the flippy neon babyface style. I like her heel turn. And I like what Jade has done. She's much more animated. The match she had on SmackDown with Liv Morgan made me a believer that, yes, it looks like she can wrestle. Yes, it was against Liv Morgan, who has a habit of making other people look good. But I think Naomi, with her new heel style, can do that as well. I'm not saying this is going to be the best match of the night, but I am intrigued. I want to watch it. It makes my royal flush. It makes my poker hand there. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. And I think, boy, this is a tough one to pick a winner, because I could see it going either way. If there are, I don't think there's going to be shenanigans. So I think Jade Cargill wins it. And then, what's next? And maybe the feud just continues anyway, where Naomi contends like, you cheated, blah, 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 blah. I still want you at Backlash, whatever. I want to see this match. And I'm going to say that Jade Cargill gets her babyface pop at WrestleMania and wins. But Naomi looks fantastic, putting her over. What say you for that analysis? And do you have this on your board? There's one spot left. I don't know.
That is my last match. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. If you would have told me 2 months ago that you and I would have both had Jade Cargill and Naomi as a match that we were looking forward to in WrestleMania, I would have said, no way.
No way. A Jade Cargill singles match. A Jade Cargill singles match making our top 5 on WrestleMania.
A Jade Cargill singles match, and I did not include the main event from Saturday night in my top 5, mind you. So, and also whatever's the main event of Saturday night is also, this match is on top of that for you. So Jade Cargill versus Naomi, shockingly is good. But man, oh man, has it been built up well, and have both these two really stepped up to make this an interesting match. Naomi seems like a different wrestler turning heel, almost to a point like, why was she a face for so long? This is great. On the mic, she suddenly has a energy and psychoticness, like sounds almost like, Piper or Flair with the intensity screaming, and she's just like a maniac now. On the other side of that, it's Jade Cargill, who took some time off, is over, and actually wrestled a good match for the first time, I think, in her WWE career. So we finally see Jade wrestle a good match. She's got the look. She's got the charisma, if you will, a bit. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's enough. I'm more interested in Naomi, who's, as far as I'm concerned, red hot. Ever since she made this change to the Owen Hart style of gear. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So, and then Jade can wrestle. So yeah, and I think Naomi is going to win this.
All right.
And the reason I think Naomi wins it is because Jade will eventually win this series that they'll have. So I think it'll go Naomi, Jade, blow off in a special match, and Jade wins it. Because if Jade wins it, then it's kind of over, right? Because then if Jade wins it, then the heel's like, oh, no, I got cheated. It's like, no, that never works, right? Like, if Jade were to win it, Jade would move on. But I think this rivalry has legs. So I think the heel has to win in some heel-like way. And then we have Backlash, like, no, let's go again. And then the blow off is some special match, cage match, strap match, something like that.
Okay. All right. So you see a future here, not just a present where you want to see this match, but you see a future.
Yeah. I'd be disappointed if one of them wins and they stop. I think this is the best this is way better than anything they were doing before this. It was a struggle to watch Jade have to, basically be Bianca's Belair sidekick that would occasionally tag in. So that was killing her. And then Naomi, it was rough to watch her just sort of do the same gimmicks that she was doing before. And you're like, okay, she's a decent worker. She might win the Ricochet Memorial Award. Right? But yeah. Well, we got one more match here, Dom, at number 10.
Out of respect for Seth Rollins, who I
Ooh.
think is tremendous and who keeps putting people over in big premium live events. This has been announced as the main event of night one, Saturday night. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. This one is on my top 5. I think the build has been pretty cool for this one as well, with Paul Heyman involved, with bringing up the animosity that each of these three guys has. This is basically 3 baby faces who don't like each other for different reasons. Roman Reigns is solid. CM Punk, he's almost the weak link in this. He's great on the mic and in the promos, but so far I've seen him, his best move has been hitting people with a clunky toolbox.
Right.
Like I thought Drew McIntyre carried their feud. So I think if there's a weak link in this, it's Punk, but he's been great on the mic. Roman Reigns, he seems to be invigorated, seems to be in good shape still. And Seth Rollins, if you can have a guy at the top of the card who's still underrated, I think Seth Rollins, you can make the case that he is. I want to watch this match. Really, more than anything, it's Seth Rollins who puts it over the top and puts it in my top 5. And I know we don't see Seth a lot because he's mostly on Raw, but I mean, he's that good. Whenever I see clips of him, it's like he's brilliant. If he makes a cameo on SmackDown, he's brilliant. I want to watch this match. What say you? And was it close to your 5? What do you think? I hope Seth Rollins wins this match too.
It was. Me too. I kind of want to see Seth win it. This was close to my top 5, and there's a big reason that I left it out.
Okay.
I have a feeling that it's going to be really slow and really standing around, not doing a lot, like a Roman Reigns bloodline matchup. And I feel like it's going to be like, oh, there's Paul Heyman. And then it's like, oh, is Paul Heyman going to help him in this spot? Is Paul Heyman going to help Roman in this spot? Is Paul Heyman going to help CM Punk in this spot? Like a lot of really slow moving, bloodline-esque stuff where it's not going to be 3 dudes banging and killing each other. Whereas like Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, they're going to be going at it. Yep. People, they're going to be really going at it. With these 3 and the way it's set up, it's going to be like a WWE soap opera in real life. And sometimes it can really work, but I don't necessarily care for it all the time. And I could see it going like, all right, this just isn't my cup of tea, I would say in addition to that, Roman Reigns is a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But he has been a little guilty of wrestling some pretty simple matches, right? Where he kind of runs around a lot, runs away from the action a lot.
Yes. I think that was part of the character with the bloodline, where somehow they were going to save Roman Reigns, and something was going to happen where these guys would the other bloodline guys would save Roman, and you're just waiting for it. So I get what you're saying there. Do you think Roman's looked like he's in good shape from what we've seen? And do you think that if they don't stand around and do too much posing, do you think these 3 guys could get in there and wrestle well?
Yeah, well, definitely Seth can. Yeah. That's without question. Like, he definitely will do what he needs to do. I'm weary of CM Punk because I even saw him do the go to sleep to Grayson Waller. And when he did the go to sleep to Grayson Waller, I think Burt Kreischer chokeslammed him. Yes. And I was like, oh, God. Poor Grayson Waller. And then poor WWE Universe for having to watch Burt Kreischer do something. But yeah, so it was terrible. But the go to sleep that he did when he did it to Grayson Waller, who's tiny, he's not a big guy, but he could barely get him up, and it looked like crap when he did it. I'm like, I think he's just weak now. I think he's just older and weaker, and it can't hit that move really smoothly. It's almost like he has to get rid of it. If you can't hit it on Grayson Waller, you can't hit it on Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, right. And Grayson Waller was helping you get up as well. Yeah. So I wonder.
Yeah, Grayson's pretty solid at. He's a great. He's done his role as a jobber, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so long story short, it didn't make my top 5, but it was close to it. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still going to watch it, and I hope Seth wins it. But this one I really have no idea who's going to win. I don't know about you. I'm really like scratching my head.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything. I want Seth to win. I think it'd be cool if he did.
Yeah.
Just because I think he's the best worker of the 3, and I want to see him win.
You know, and Seth has really, really, really been a nice guy in the booking office because it feels like he just loses left and right in these big moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Cody Rhodes comes back to the company, and Seth puts him over at WrestleMania. And then, even though Cody is obviously injured with the torn pec, he puts him over in Hell in the Cell. CM Punk comes back, and somehow Seth is putting him over on Raw. I mean, yes, Seth. If it's possible for a top guy to be underrated, it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he's putting a ton of guys over, and yeah, it'd be nice to see him win in the main event because he deserves it more than the other 2, which is Roman just won for constantly forever, and then CM Punk, who they have really treated nicely as far as the win-loss column.
Yes.
All right.
Are there other matches you want to get to? We've covered 6 of the 13. Is there anything that was close to being on your top 5? I will tell you one of mine.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's start with yours.
Randy Orton and Kevin Owens got nixed because Kevin Owens apparently has a real-life neck problem that he has to need surgery for. They've been teasing that maybe this will be a very late announcement after we record this, either on Raw this week or on SmackDown, that Randy Orton gets an opponent. They threw it out there as a possibility. Randy Orton said, what if you get in there, Nick Aldis? If Randy Orton, Nick Aldis materializes, everything on my list takes a bump down, and Randy Orton, Nick Aldis goes to the number 1 spot.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Sorry, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Nick Aldis, Randy Orton would certainly make mine, and that probably knocks off Jade and Naomi, even though they've been so great, and at least 5. That would be very interesting. It would be interesting from a perspective of a guy who probably didn't think he would ever wrestle again to suddenly getting a WrestleMania match. The story really writes itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he's not that old. He's the same age as Samoa Joe. He's of the generation that started out in the early 2000s, I think. So think AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Cody Rhodes. Those guys are still wrestling and still doing fine. I think he could still do it. But that's not technically an announced match yet. We do have 7 other matches that have been announced. Do you want to do some quick predictions on some of those?
Yes, let's do the other matches. There's some that were really I think the whole card's great. I want to throw that out there. There were some that could have easily made my list.
Yes, I don't think there's been a bad match announced. We'll leave our revealed royal flushes there up on the screen, each of our lists. But let's talk about some other matches, the also-rans that are still going to be part of this WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, April 19th and 20th. How about we start out with AJ Styles versus Logan Paul? If somebody can drag a good match out of Logan Paul, AJ Styles is one of those guys, right? This match, this is one of those, and I might say this a lot, this match could steal the show. I wonder if AJ Styles is going to wind up putting over someone yet again here at WrestleMania. But this could be a high-flying match. We know AJ Styles can do that. We know Logan Paul likes to do that. So what say you about AJ Styles, Logan Paul here? I'm going to say pretty good match. I I fear that they're going to have Logan Paul win it and then take a bunch of time off again, and it's going to be like, why?
This one, if it wasn't thrown together so haphazardly, probably would have been really good. And if they set it up at all, but it feels like they're just like, oh, we got two guys, let's have them wrestle.
Yep.
And I would have to agree that it feels like you basically, sorry, I'm doing one thing here. Okay, yeah, it basically feels like Logan Paul is going to be AJ Styles, and then he's going to go away, and then that's just going to be that. Unless AJ Styles wins it, because he'll be around, but no, it feels like Logan Paul.
It does, doesn't it? All right, let's see who's up next here in the wheel. How about Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre? This has been announced as a street fight, not a regular old match. So they're going to try, and these two guys have clashed before and for months have been going back and forth. This could be a big old slobber knocker. These are two above average size guys, even as professional wrestling standards. Could be a very hard hitting match. Drew is doing some of the best work of his career. I think he carried the CM Punk feud and made it as good as it was. Damian Priest has had a great singles run post Judgment Day. I think this will be a fun match as well. I'm concerned that it'll get too weapony.
Yeah.
Like the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match was in the cage. But Drew has shown that he can make that work. And Damian Priest also showed that he can make that kind of a match work against Bad Bunny at Backlash in Puerto Rico in 2023. I think this could be a fun match as well. Again, no bad matches on the card, but it just didn't make my top five. Do you have anything to say about this match? Do you have a prediction?
The reason it really didn't touch my top five is because I'm on the SmackDown side, so I haven't seen as much about this. I've seen bits and pieces, so I haven't really been able to understand what the rivalry is.
Mm-hmm.
From a worker perspective, yeah, you're going to have two big dudes beating the hell out of each other in a street fight. I feel like sometimes the street fights are a letdown. If they're not too over the top with the weapons, and they use them correctly, I don't know. I think they kind of got to figure out the street fight thing. Do you just call it a no DQ and then let them use the weapons and then just there's no disqualification?
Oh, but then you couldn't call it a Sin City street fight.
That's right. Then you got to call it. It's all for the hometown, right? It's always the hometown cheap heat.
It's the Philadelphia street fight or whatever.
Street fight. Oh, we got a Philadelphia street fight tonight. It's like whatever town they're in, street fight.
I think this goes back to Damian Priest surprisingly eliminating Drew McIntyre in Royal Rumble, and then I think also was he the one that did the surprise pin of Drew during Elimination Chamber? So like Drew's had it out for Damian Priest, like you keep getting in my way. You know, I keep trying to take these guys out, and you keep getting in my way. I think, boy, does Drew lose yet another blood feud?
Really weird, right? Because it feels like it really feels like he's way over, and they're making him lose. And you're like,
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Drew wins it, and that their feud somehow continues a little bit.
Yeah, I think Drew wins it too. He can't keep losing. He's too good.
Right.
He's just too damn good. I have no idea why he's losing so much. Because he even lost just after the CM Punk thing too, right? Or did he lose to Jim Uso? He lost to Jim Uso.
Yeah, so he was getting too arrogant, and Jimmy Uso rolled him up.
Yeah,
and then he came back the next week and pummeled Jimmy Uso. Yeah, but poor Big Jim.
Yeah, poor Big Jim. It's like, no, he can't get a win.
Up next, matches that did not make our boards. You thought a triple threat match had a lot of bodies in it. How about a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship? Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, both of Judgment Day, and then Penta. This could have a lot of action in it. I almost want to see, even if it's accidentally, Dominic Mysterio win this.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's time for him to get a singles title. And, you're not going to put the big world belt on him. But I think that in a match like this, him somehow walking out of there with the Intercontinental Championship would be fantastic. I'm pulling for that to happen. I really have no, odds-on favorite in this match. But I'm pulling for he's no longer Dirty Dominic Mysterio. We've received where they've removed that from his WWE official bio page. I'd like to see him do it though.
Yeah. Dirty Dom, because I'm gonna keep calling him that because it's too great. Dirty Dom Mysterio absolutely should go over in some weird hook or crook way here, and what better way than in a Fatal 4?
Yes.
Fatal 4s usually aren't good, but you've got guys in it like Penta and Finn Balor who might be able to put something together where they make it really interesting.
Yep.
And then I would say Dirty Dom pins either. Is Finn Balor and Dirty Dom, are they aligned?
Yeah, they're still in Judgment Day together. What a finish that would be if like Braun Breaker spears Finn Balor, but can't quite make the cover in time, and
Dirty
Dominic
Dom
Mysterio
picks up the scraps,
slides in and pins his Judgment Day teammate.
No, that would be perfect. That's it. Book it. That's exactly it. He's going to pin Finn Balor, and that'll be that. And
I don't know the 15 minutes before, but that's got to be the finish. Right?
Yeah, and it just shows even Dom with his heel persona, with his heel buddies, he's still going to turn his back on them, just like he turned his back on Rhea Ripley.
He's opportunistic. And he's clutch. He has a mullet. We've talked about this with the Speedball Mike Bailey cheap hit segment earlier. Yes, he has the mullet. All right, up next. This was probably the closest match to making my top 5 that did not make it. I was going between this and the Saturday night 1 main event. World Tag Team Championships for the women. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus a surprise pairing of Lyra Valkyria and Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
Liv and Bayley, can work. They'd be great in any match. Lyra, I've been, with little I've seen of her, I've been impressed by her. She grapples. She's not just a high flyer at her size. She will grapple. And Raquel Rodriguez, in her return from her ailment, her illness, she's settled into this like muscle bodyguard role for Liv Morgan very well. I read someone compare it to old school Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Oh, yeah. I even get the Diesel vibe from her.
Yes, I think this is going to be a fun match. I mean, if it were Liv and Bayley by themselves, you'd want to watch it. But Lyra Valkyria, she's really good, and I like the chemistry with Raquel Rodriguez now being this kind of this looming heel muscle.
Yeah, and Raquel Rodriguez is probably a better wrestler than Kevin Nash was at the time, or Diesel. If you
we didn't see Kevin Nash dragging a good match out of Ronda Rousey, did we?
That's exactly what I mean. It wasn't. Raquel Rodriguez will never be forgotten, in my opinion, because it was the only time I ever watched Ronda Rousey wrestle a good match. And I was like, who is this magical person? How did she do it? It's like, was she just very nice to her in the morning? And she's like, okay, I'll do it for you. It was crazy. It's not like Ronda Rousey couldn't do it. She just didn't want to do it, and she's quiet quitting.
Right.
And they rewarded her by giving her belts.
Now, a little add-in for this. Lyra Valkyria is the women's intercontinental champion, I think, and Bayley was her most recent rival for that belt. So they're kind of, they were friends going into it, had their match, and apparently they're still friends. My prediction for this match is, once again, baby faces somehow don't get along, but heels do, because that's pro wrestling. I think the champs retain, Liv and Raquel retain, and it sets up maybe another blow off for the women's IC belt between Lyra and Bayley. Everybody in this match can wrestle, at least as above average. This almost made my board. This almost made my royal flush. Well, what say you? Do you have a prediction for it? I know these people are mostly on Raw. I don't see them a lot either, but I know enough about them to say that this is probably going to be a really good match.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who's going to win. I would say if I was a betting man, let's go with Bailey and
Lyra.
Lyra.
Wow.
And I'm going to
Okay.
tell you why, because I don't know, and I'm not going to go with the faces. It can't all be heels in WrestleMania. Usually it's faces. So
There you go. All right.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you're filling out a card, you'd be like, wait a minute, I'm picking all the heels.
yeah, exactly. It's
That
almost like
never
I'm picking too many
happens.
underdogs.
Right? That
You know?
never happens. They
Mhm.
would WrestleMania creative will not allow it. Who do we have next here? As a pure wrestling match, if Rey Mysterio were in his prime, I'd say this might be the best match to watch.
Yes.
El Grande Americano is Chad Gable.
Is Chad Gable in a wild gimmick?
Wild gimmick as some sort of American luchador who apparently does not know, like the real Chad Gable doesn't know who El Grande Americano is. This could be a really fun match. Chad Gable, pound for pound, might be the best in-ring guy they have.
Yeah. No, this is an amazing one. And it's funny that Rey Mysterio, his retired ass, is the hardest working man in pro wrestling.
Yep.
He has another WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
And he has it with El Grande Americano. Have you seen any of the El Grande Americano stuff? Where
just clips of it, not full matches. It's Chad Gable. He's fantastic. Like it's not like Rey Mysterio is going to be able to take this match off. Like Chad's going to make him work.
His Titantron is completely made by ChatGPT, so it's all AI art, and it's taught like there. I should say that like this montage for him, and it looks so terrible, and it's not terrible on purpose, and it shows him in like the 50s and the 60s, and all these American people cheering for him in the 50s and 60s, but it's AI, so it looks like garbage, and they're like, and he's from the Gulf of America, so.
He's from the water. He was born in the middle of the sea.
Yes. He's from the Gulf of America. And so and it's got like and like the montage is so great because it just has such terrible AI art of like people cheering with like 6 or 7 fingers at his wrestling matches like in the 50s. And it's like if they were in the 50s, he would be not he probably would be dead, you know. He wouldn't be here, you know. So
luchadors live forever.
Yeah. It's like they went completely ridiculous with it, and I in my opinion have pulled it off.
Well, very good. Maybe this will be a more entertaining match than either one of us thinks. Up next, John, this is one that almost seems forgotten, at least by us.
No.
Why was this match not on your board? Then I'll tell you why it was not on my board.
This one is crazy. I would have bet any amount of money that it would have made my board when I first heard it announced.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's been drug out a bit too much. Maybe one too many promos. Maybe we knew about it way too early, but we didn't need all the promos, and all the promos did not do it any favors.
Yeah.
Your mic's a little messed up, Dom. If you can, there you go.
See,
perfect.
How about there? All I said was yeah when I nodded my head.
Okay. Yeah. So I think they gave it a little bit too much time. There's been a couple weaknesses in Charlotte and Tiffany's warm-up matches. Both have had issues. Charlotte tried to kip up, and she missed the kip up. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton still seems at times a little green. I think she's fantastic, and I would love for her to go out there and hit a home run because I'm really pulling for her. But yeah, it just didn't make my board because I just think I'm just not interested in it. I don't know. How about you?
2 years ago, I kept saying, okay, Charlotte Rhea, I wanted to see because it looked like they were both wrestling well as far as how we saw them. This time around, Charlotte is coming off a major injury, and like you said, she doesn't look right physically. And I think that Tiffany Stratton, she's not where Rhea was 2 years ago. And so I think that when I look at this match, I'm seeing neither one of these as good as they could be or should be or have been. And that makes me say, maybe I'd read about the result, but if I had to skip a match, if I could only watch 5 matches, this would not be one of the 5. This would be one of the 5 where I would just be like, all right, just tell me what the result is.
And this is surprising. I feel like I would have thought, yeah, this is a match that would be up both of our alleys because of the excellent performance with Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton being great. It's just now, ever since she got the belt, you could see some kinks in the armor. And then even, some of the promo segments that they've had where they go off script and they say all kinds of awful things. You're like, all right, this is
they had their side-by-side Zoom meeting, which fell flat. So they said, all right, let's put them in the ring together. And that was even worse.
Yeah. And when they put them in the ring, they both went off script, which is like, okay, so no shit. It didn't sound good. You just started saying whatever.
Well, they got rattled by the crowd. And then, they forgot what they were doing.
Yeah. Charlotte has a problem. Charlotte's problem is that she's always been pretty bad on the mic, ironically, because her father is Ric Flair. But her only weakness, because she's excellent in the ring, looks great, has ring presence and charisma within that ring. Just when that mic hits her hand, it's like, ugh. That's why she's getting booed. It's oftentimes when she has the mic in her hand, it's like, go away, Heat.
Oh, okay. You're noticing that. All right, something to watch for there. When we did our end of year 2024 awards, I think you selected Tiffany Stratton as the women's MVP for SmackDown.
Yeah.
So she's got the belt and she's in WrestleMania. Hopefully she can over deliver from what I'm predicting for the match. I'd like to see Tiffany win as well. And I'm going to predict it. Yeah, Tiffany wins it, and Charlotte continues to chase as a heel.
Yeah.
Now, my MVP for SmackDown 2024 was Nia Jax. It looks like 2 years in a row, Nia Jax is not getting a WrestleMania match.
Wow.
She's been a hard worker since she's been back in the company and has delivered in everything they've asked her to do.
You know what? I would have rather seen Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, maybe as a really, since they didn't get their one-on-one, like Tiffany took it from her with Money in the Bank. It would
have been so much better. I think Nia is in a better spot from a wrestling perspective than Charlotte, and they have good chemistry. Tiffany and Nia Jax. She wouldn't have to do as much. Tiffany Stratton, it's like, hey, I'm going to do the big man thing and beat you up, and you do the flippy thing.
Yeah, the David versus Goliath stuff that she could do. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be an easier match for her, and it would be a much better storyline as they were friends and now they're enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. We should. What happened? Why didn't they do that match?
I almost thought when they announced the tag team gauntlet that Candice and Nia would be entered into it and would be the ones facing Liv and Raquel. And instead, they threw together at the last minute this tag team of Bayley and Lyra, even though Lyra's already got a belt and Bayley's chasing it. I think it maybe came down to there's too many people that aren't on the WrestleMania card. And so maybe they use that slot in order to get 2 more women in there. So I can't argue with Bayley and Lyra getting in there on the slot, but I'm just noticing Nia Jax again, after all the hard work she's put in and the storylines that she's done and how she's been great, both winning and losing matches, that she's not on WrestleMania anymore. Because there's one more match on the card. It's the men's tag team match championships from the Raw side. It's the War Raiders versus the New Day. The New Day have turned heel. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have turned heel over on Raw. They've done a couple of sneak attacks on the War Raiders recently. the War Raiders, apparently, I've seen just clips of this, have had a pretty decent but short so far run with the belts. They work well for big men. They've got a neat look. They don't look like all the other tag teams. They don't even look too much like each other. They've got the long beards. They've got the ZZ Top thing going. But other than that, this could be a fun match. But again, it looks more like a main event of a Raw episode.
Yeah.
Than a
This is pretty
WrestleMania
weak.
match. I don't think it's going to be bad. It might be a lot of fun for 10 or 15 minutes, however long they give them. But it almost looks like a main event of Raw. What say you? Do you have a prediction? Do you have any info on these guys? I'm thinking maybe the New Day wins it and they get a heel run with the belts.
Yeah, the New Day win it. They get a heel run. I feel like we got to combine these tag belts. We can't have two sets of tag belts. It's too much.
It's got to be what the Usos did, right?
Yeah.
Jey and Jimmy won both programs belts and then combined them for a while before we split them up at in a ladder match.
I would really having because you put yourself in such a weird situation. Like, couldn't you have easily had
Well,
the Street
Montez
Profits?
Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, have the belts on SmackDown.
Couldn't you easily just do the Street Profits versus New Day? It'd be the same thing, you know?
You could have baby faces versus heels. New Day's just not on Raw. Yeah, this could have been the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits, right?
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns did not get their WrestleMania moment.
Not yet.
Probably because they wrestled a zillion times on SmackDown. I think no team has ever put in so many hours on SmackDown since their debut.
Right.
Yeah.
They've been hard workers. It hasn't been for lack of effort.
No,
But,
they've been doing their thing.
Yeah, you got to be in the company maybe more than 6 months before we start booking you for title matches on WrestleMania. So
is that the last one?
That's it. I think that's the whole card that we've been through.
Wow. All right, Dom.
Put that away there. Yeah, that's the card. That's WrestleMania. Those are our top 5 matches plus the rest of the card. Some predictions there. Anything else you want to say about WrestleMania here?
Dom, I just want to tell everyone, thanks for hanging in there tonight. We had a lot of chatters, which is very fun on our shorter show.
Yes.
Dom and I don't know if I should say it or not. I'll just say it. We will not be watching WrestleMania.
Not the whole thing.
We will be watching.
I'm going to miss Saturday and you're going to miss Sunday, right?
Yeah, Saturday. Well, Saturday I will be missing. I will be going to a concert.
Oh, okay.
So as a result of me going to this concert, I won't be able to watch WrestleMania. However, I'll watch it later. Because
I will also.
2 nights.
I will try my best to watch it because I want to watch these matches. It's not just a gimmick, John. It's still real to me. When I give you my top 5 matches that I want to watch, it means I want to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah. It means I want to watch them. I think, too. It being 2 nights, I'll watch the main event. Although I am scared of the Sunday card being super late, but
yeah, right.
But you'll miss all of Sunday then?
I will miss Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I will miss Saturday live, but can maybe catch up Sunday early. Oh, you know what? I might miss a good chunk of Sunday as well now. I just realized I'm doing something Sunday evening. It is Easter Sunday.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So I might miss a good chunk of Sunday evening as well, and maybe just be back for the last hour of it. I'll probably catch the main event depending on when it's on and something else, and then I'll try to catch other matches, during the week if it's still available on Peacock. Yeah. If they move it over to Netflix, then I'm out of luck.
Well, I mean, it should be on Peacock. But
for US viewers, it runs live on Peacock, but I'm wondering if if the archive stays on Peacock or if they move the archive to Netflix and how quickly they do that.
Well, guess where you'll have to watch it? Daily Motion. That's free, my friend, and that has always come through for us. So we'll just watch things on the dark web, WWE. If you want to play games like this,
it's like, I have Peacock. I want to watch your program. I pay for it through Xfinity, Comcast, NBC, the parent company. Yes, I have it. You just keep moving stuff around on me.
I know, boy. Anyways. So, Dom, I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania. We will be watching it. We won't be doing anything live, though. But we'll have to figure something out to do some sort of recap. I mean, if we get crazy on Sunday night, maybe message me. And if the main event happens, we could do it right after the main. Or even we could do like a live stream during the main event. We could try something like that.
It's up in the air. It's open-ended booking here at Don't Bury the Lead. So as you were saying, thank you to everybody who chatted with us tonight. Wherever you are watching Don't Bury the Lead, if it's X, Twitch, or YouTube, just know we thank you for joining us. But everything is on YouTube. If you want to know more about the stuff we've been talking about, like our end-of-year awards, past WrestleMania previews that we've done, all of that is at the YouTube channel. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube. We're up to over 1,100 subscribers. Help us climb the next mountain. Like the stuff that you like. Subscribe to help us out. If you want extra goodies, join at the premium option and check out all the cool stuff we have. John, you like to do edited videos, which are getting more and more intricately produced, I've noticed. There are also some hashtag shorts videos available to the air. Check out our content. Plenty to see, even if we don't live stream. We only live stream once a week, but there's stuff that pops up during the week, new edits, new concentrations of our content. It's there. Sometimes a very special sort of video essay that you put together. So lots to check out. Do it. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube.
We have a video about an interesting one about how John Cena and The Rock were brought back to boost Raw ratings. So check that one out. Go ahead, check us out at the YouTube if you're watching us on Twitch. But I'll tell you what. Thank everyone for joining tonight. This is always a fun show. Dom, anything else you got to say?
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to watch these matches. WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas.
We'll find a way. Dom, thanks so much for joining. A pleasure as always. And thank you. A special thanks to you for creating this. This is all through Dom's computer science stuff that I don't understand. He gives me a sheet of paper. I type in letters where I think that is the best match, and then I send it to him. And through the magic of technology, this thing is
magic
generated.
Of JavaScript.
Yeah, it's the magic of JavaScript.
And app coding, yes.
Yeah. So, Dom, great job there.
Thank you.
And always a fun show. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Really appreciate it. And have a great rest of your